my name is Sarah and today I'm here to share a bookish birthday haul. So a little less than 2 weeks ago, I turned 27. I am not entirely sure if that means I am now officially in my late 20s or if 27 is considered the last year of your mid-20s. But either way, like most bookish people, my birthday added quite a few books to my shelf, some that were gifted to me by others and some that were gifted to me by myself. So today I have 18 bookish things to share with you. Up first, G through L in the Penguin Drop Cap series. So it looks like my prediction at Christmas was correct and my parents are just going to continue to get me the Penguin Drop Cap series for probably all of the holidays until I have all 26. Unlike A through F, several of these books are ones I am not particularly familiar with, so I am very excited to jump into them and experience their stories. G is Lord of the Flies by William Golding. This is obviously a very well-known and loved piece of classic literature about a group of boys who get shipwrecked and effectively watch society as they know it just collapse. This is one that I never wound up reading in any of my schooling years, so I am very excited to have this copy and hope to get to it rather soon. H is Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. This is a book that I was not at all familiar with, but it is apparently about a man named Siddhartha who leaves his family for a life of contemplation. He then becomes dissatisfied with his life of contemplation and forgoes that for a life of flesh. He conceives a son, stuff happens, then in complete despair he goes to a river one day and hears a unique sound, and that is the beginning of a brand new life for him. It sounds like a very intriguing book, and again is one that I'm not at all familiar with, so I'm very excited to jump into this one at some point soon. I is for An Artist of the Floating World by Kazuo Ishiguro. This is one that I was not at all familiar with. I'd never even heard of the book. It is about post-World War II Japan, which was apparently called The Floating World, and it primarily follows a man named Ano who was a bohemian artist and became a propagandist for Japanese imperialism during the war, but now Japan has lost, his wife and son are dead, and he is basically ostracized from society because of the view that a lot of Japanese people have about the role that imperialism played in Japan's downfall. It sounds like a very, very fascinating story, and as one of my goals this year is to read more diverse, I'm excited to pick up what I believe is probably my first novel by a Japanese author. J is for A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man by James Joyce. This will be my first James Joyce novel. He is obviously a well-known and loved classic author. This is apparently sort of a semi-autobiographical novel about a man who lives in Ireland, and it's like called the most accessible of his work. Don't know tons about it. Most of the summaries that I found online were pretty vague, but as he is obviously a super well-known, well-loved author of the 20th century, I am excited to jump into his works finally. K is for The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. This is a historical fiction novel that follows a young girl whose life is defined by the day that her parents die. She lives with her aunt, and one day her aunt says something that sets off the three major white supremacists in town, and so they run away to South Carolina where they wind up living with these three sisters who are beekeepers, and while they are there they learn about the life of bees and also I guess a bunch of stuff about the little girl's mother and things like that, and it is supposed to be a beautiful story about feminine power and friendship and relationships, and I am quite excited to jump into this one as well. And our last drop cap, L, is for Native Speaker by Chang-rae Lee. This is another one that I had also never heard of, but I am quite intrigued by the plot. It is about a man named Park who is a Korean American and has always tried to fit into the American culture, but has felt that struggle between his Korean upbringing and the country that he now lives in. But the combination of those two things, a love for the United States and his Korean upbringing and the sort of secrecy that that involves, has made him like the perfect spy. He is, I guess, a spy for the US government, but then is assigned to spy on an up-and-coming Korean American politician, and that just brings into play all sorts of questions about his identity and the clash between being a Korean American and all this other stuff. It just sounds super, super fascinating, so I'm pretty excited to pick this one up. So those are all the drop caps, which, like I said, were gifted to me by my parents. In addition to those 6 books, they also got me this lovely umbrella. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to open it. We'll find out. Let's see how this goes. Woo! Okay, well that could have ended really poorly. You can maybe kind of see it. I don't know how well this is showing in the frame, but basically it's like a bunch of quotes from books, and it's just kind of the perfect umbrella for a book lover like me. And now I'm gonna put this away because it's kind of big. The next several books are ones that I gifted to myself, as is the best way to celebrate one's birthday. Up first, Did You Ever Have a Family by Bill Clegg. So I first heard about this book last year from Max from Well Done Books. It is a literary fiction novel about a woman named June, and on the night before June's daughter's wedding, her entire family dies in a house fire. So her daughter, her daughter's fiance, her ex-husband, and her boyfriend all gone in one fell swoop, and June is the only survivor. So this book is about June sort of picking up the pieces and the life that she proceeds to live after the fact, and the way that the tragedy affects June and all the people she comes in contact and things like that. And I probably am not explaining it super well, but I remember Max talking about it and I was like, okay, yeah, I need to pick this one up soon, and I never got around to it in 2015, so I'm really excited to get to this one in 2016. Up next, Ink and Bone by Rachel Caine. So this is the first book in a new speculative fiction, dystopian, alternate history-ish YA series called The Great Library, where the Library of Alexandria still exists and is like this huge superpower around the world, but the ownership of books is expressly forbidden, and that's like all I know about it. But Kirsten from Melbourne on My Mind has sort of raved about this book, and I remember reading synopses and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, this sounds freaking fantastic. So I'm really, really excited to dive into this one. Up next, the entire Anne of Green Gables series by Ellen Montgomery, including Anne of Green Gables, Anne of Avonlea, Anne of the Island, Anne of Windy Poplars, Anne's House of Dreams, Anne of Ingleside, Rainbow Valley, and Rilla of Ingleside. As you all know, I am in the middle of a reread of the Anne of Green Gables series right now, but I have actually been borrowing the books from one of my very good friends because up until now, I have never actually owned my own copy of these books, which is a little bit ridiculous when you consider the fact that Anne Shirley is my favorite character in all of literature, and I basically decided that if I didn't get these books for Christmas or my birthday, they were just, I was gonna buy them myself because I needed Anne on my shelf permanently, because she's just the best. My final book of the day was given to me by my wonderful friend Tanisha, and that is Americanah by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. This is another book that I first heard of from Max from Well Done Books, and it was sort of on my radar but wasn't super high up on the priority list. But Tanisha knew that one of my goals this year is to read more diversity, and she read this last year and thought that I would really enjoy it. Chimamanda is a Nigerian novelist herself, and this is a literary fiction novel about a couple named Ifemelu and Obinzi. I'm probably completely butchering those, but they are young and in love when they depart a military-ruled Nigeria. Ifemelu heads for America and Obinzi heads to London, and they both wrestle with all sorts of things having to do with identity and stuff, and it just sounds like a beautiful, beautiful novel, and I know Max absolutely loves like everything that Chimamanda writes, and so I'm really excited to jump into this one at some point this year. Well, there you have it, friends. That is my bookish birthday haul. If you have read any of these books, I would love to hear your thoughts, so please let me know in the comments, and especially let me know if you think there's one that I should pick up first. If you want to follow me elsewhere online, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads, all at Sarah Ann Hayes. The links for those profiles will be in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye! And today I'm here to share a It primarily follows a first being, did you ever have a final book of the day was given to me by my wonderful friends. That is my book of words. I fail at words today. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous.